Hello everyone and welcome back once again to Off Meta Hearthstone. I got a really spicy one for you right now. This deck is kind of crazy, so let's just hop right in. I literally only have one new card from Fractured and Alterac Valley, and that is Capture Coldtooth Mine. So, yeah, this is a very key card to this deck. So, let me explain what this deck does. It's built entirely around Lady Anacondra, but not in the way you've seen before, right? Like, look at this curve. Normally, you would see Lady Anacondra and then a whole bunch of expensive crap and then Celestial Alignment. But no, we're playing Lady Anacondra as our most expensive card, and that way we can always draw it with Capture Coldtooth Mine. So that gives us 3 copies of drawing Lady Anacondra. Alright, that's pretty good. We can guarantee it pretty early, right? But wait, there's more. Jerry Ray Carpenter always draws Capture Coldtooth Mine. It'll split it in 2, and then you play the one that draws the highest card, and you always draw Lady Anacondra. So that means there's 5 ways to draw a specific combo piece. That seems pretty good. Now, if you want to draw your lowest cost card, you're going to get a Lightning Bloom. And I used to run Innervate as well until I realized that we really don't care about that. We just need Lightning Bloom. So let me explain exactly how this deck functions. You obviously get Lady Anacondra at some point, and then there's 2 routes to victory. You either get to 8 mana, so that you can play Lady Anacondra and then immediately afford a Germination, and from there your nature spells cost 4 less, and you can cast pretty much everything, including more Germinations and whatever else you find. The other route to victory is making Lady Anacondra cost 1 mana with Imprisoned Satyr. So anytime you're able to drop the Satyr by turn 3, you can be pretty confident that you'll be able to win on turn 5. Well, not literally win, it's not an OTK deck, but you put out an unreasonable board for which turn it is. Satyr is good if you happen to draw it, but if not, you just need to somehow find 8 mana to go off with Lady Anacondra. So the rest of the deck is just entirely card draw and buffs for when you're going off. So you play Lady Anacondra, you cast all of these random buffs like Mark of the Wild and Mark of the Spike Shell and Iron Bark. Who needs 7 mana crystals? Just make it cost 2 less. So you make the Lady Anacondra pretty big. Like, it starts as a 3/7, you buff it up to like a 12/15 or something, and then you play Germination on it as late as possible so that the taunted copy is as big as possible. And then you play a bunch of free card draw like Fungal Fortunes, and you can Solar Eclipse to double whatever your best thing is, and sometimes you'll draw into like the other copy of Lightning Bloom or whatever, and you'll be able to cast like your whatever nature spell is stranded in your hand that lets you draw into more stuff to do. So you just kind of, whenever, this is like an all-in deck, it's all in on one turn, and that turn can be sooner than it might seem. But you just present this massive board and you're like, here you go, if you can deal with this you win, but most likely I will win. So it's a kind of a crazy deck. It's super fun to play, and I am going to show you how it works. Alright, so let's queue up for the first game of this series. I tried to record one game just before this, and then I, in the process of talking through things for too long, I just roped out on my important turn, and I was just like, alright, this is pointless. Let me just start over. This deck really, there's just one key turn, and the game is decided on that turn, win or lose. And I messed it up because I was trying to explain my thought process. So this time what I'm going to do is, before the key turn, I'm going to sort of explain what I'm about to do. Do I want the second Moonlit Guidance? I think so. I'm going to explain everything that I'm thinking, and then on the actual turn I'm going off, I'm just going to click through it and just try to keep up with what's going on. Oh wow, it's the quest one. That's cool. It's been a minute since I've seen that one. I used to love playing that deck. But then, I mean, my win rate was like 80% with it, and then they nerfed it, and I was like, yeah, I guess that makes sense. And then it didn't get any new cards with the new set, so I lost interest. I'm just going to discover, see what we hit. Termination's always good. So the problem here is this is one of the rare instances where I'm not confident playing Satyr on turn 3. Normally I would say, like, you're for sure going to have your Anacondra by turn 5. But in this case, I'm just not sure. I think I will go for it. I have 2 turns to find it. If it doesn't work out, so be it. The game hasn't ended. We just wasted our Satyr. But this Moonlight Guidance is going to have to do some work for us. You know, there's so many cards we can discover that we'll just immediately get it in our hand. But if we have to do, like, let's say we have to go Jerry Rig Carpenter into Capture Coldtooth Mine into Anacondra, well, we can burn a Lightning Bloom on that if we really need to, and it'll be fine. So, let's see how this goes. Okay, we did it. So, yeah, we can probably go off next turn. We have 9 cards. Alright, so while it's our opponent's turn, I'll talk through what's going to happen. The Anacondra is going to cost 1. I'm going to play it. I'm going to play all these buffs for free. Then as late as possible, I'm going to play this Germination. I'll have 2 copies. I'll have a random copy in my hand for later in case things go wrong. Alright, here goes. And then I'm going to cast as much card draw as I can afford. Okay, I got through the main important things. Now I just have to decide if I want to cast this random Overgrowth. Next turn we're gonna have 3 mana. It's not really ever going to. We're not gonna get to 10 mana crystals and just like cash it in for a card draw. So even though we don't really care about the mana crystals, we just cast it. So yeah, so this is what it looks like. This is a very common scenario. You know, it was like turn 5 and we just put out 3 8/15s, and say, okay, good luck. If you can deal with this, great. Some opponents can, and then we'll lose. But a lot of opponents just die. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. They killed one of them, so that's fine. All right, so there's another copy of Germination. All right, so they give up. So yeah, that's how this deck goes. We go off around turn 5, and then we win, or they're able to deal with it and we lose. Ever since I settled on this specific build, my win rate has been pretty high, I'm not gonna lie. Even though it's like a kind of a glass cannon, turns out a cannon is good enough to kill people. I don't know if that's like a famous saying or anything, but alright, Rogue can deal with our board with the hero that bounces everything, so we just have to be wary of that. I'm going to keep this Anacondra and then the Moonlit Guidance to cast somewhere around turn 3 or 4. Well, we have a Satyr draw, so this is going to be very similar to last game. Anytime you draw Satyr, it's pretty much the same. You do it on turn 5 and hope it's good enough. A secret. Well, our tracker is telling us what those could be. It's not the spell one. Oh, it is the spell one. Okay, so whatever. So turn 4 will be Moonlit Guidance into card draw more, hopefully. Because we don't currently have any buffs in our hand, but we're going to see a bunch more cards by then. I want to get a draw where we get Fungal Fortunes, because those are some of the most fun. And notably, you cannot cast Fungal Fortunes until you have Lady Anacondra in your hand. Yes, this deck is delightful. Thank you, opponent, for saying that. Because I guess you could, but you know, the 3 out of like 20-something chance that you reveal Lady Anacondra, you would just lose the game on the spot. Because this deck doesn't do anything besides the one thing. Like, you can beat them down with a 3/3 and a 2/1. other than Lady Anacondra. Alright, so I'm just reminding myself of the secrets that could happen. Alright, so we found one buff, so let's get our first... oh, we found Fungal Fortunes, which seems pretty good. Yeah, I'm just going to keep that since we already have Germination. It's just going to be awesome next turn, I think. And then I will play this one and just get this. Oh, man. Oof. I feel like Germination is the way to go, but it's going to be so fun with double Fungal Fortunes. I got to try it. So, alright, so next turn is going to be even crazier than the previous time we went off, so I'm literally not going to say anything. I'm just going to be executing. So, yeah, hopefully I do it right. I'm going to need to find more things. I don't think I'll be able to finish, but I'm going to be focused, so bear with me. There'll be a lot of clicking. Whew, okay, I barely got all that stuff off. It was definitely not in the optimal order. I missed, like, no, actually it came out the same, because, okay, so, yeah, I copied the random +1/+3 to your team spell that I found, and then I copied this thing afterwards, so, yeah, I think that was good enough. So, I'd say there's a chance they could kill, like, our 5/9, and then we don't have lethal. Also, they could have the, well, they probably don't play Shadow Clone, right? It's almost certainly Bamboozle. But if I don't kill them this turn, their options for stabilizing are much higher, so I want to make sure. Oh, that's pretty lucky. That was a good hit off Swashbuckler. So we won't kill them this turn. Alright, I'm actually a little nervous that they could put something in our way next turn, and then they get to 7 mana and they can bounce the whole board. I will discover a spell, because if it's a nature spell that costs up to 5, I can cast it. I'll just get this for next turn. So last turn I overloaded with Reckless Abandon, because literally, like I said, only that one turn matters. So, you know, I just wanted to make sure I could put as much stats on the board as possible in that one turn. And, you know, unfortunately we didn't kill our opponent because they hit that lucky Swashbuckler thing. But, I mean, there's plenty of cards that could slow us down. But they hit an above average one. But, you know, 2 turns after, if they deal with this board, we're going to have at least an Anacondra left, most likely. And so we'll be able to play, you know, this random expensive card. But generally, yeah, we're kind of all in on the first turn. There are scenarios, because you often get another copy of Anacondra in your hand from the, whatever that mark is called, Mark of the Spike Shell, but I would say it's pretty rare. It's been rare that I would, ever play that and anything comes of it. So yeah, looks like we Got another good one here. Or is this the first game of this video? I can't remember. I've been winning a lot with this deck recently, so it feels good. Alright, let's get back in the queue. Alright, so Paladin decks can have some tools that deal with our big board, but often not. Alright, so I like keeping Moonlit Guidance. Honestly, I feel like I might want to cut Lunar Eclipse. Like, I've noticed it's pretty useless in the last few games. The reason it's in is that it can be cast, like, let's say it's like turn 2, 3, or 4, and you just need to like kill a minion and then still play something like Moonlit Guidance. But, you know, I've found that when I try to kill Paladin's minions, it's just a losing strategy. And you just have to enact your own game plan because your removal spells are not going to be as powerful as their cards. Okay, so we already have an Anacondra, so now we're just looking for copy effects. And, I mean, Satyr would be nice. We had 2 Satyr games already. Yeah, now I remember correctly. I recorded 2 games so far. So, you know, we have Coin and Lightning Bloom, so we just need to get to 5 mana again, and then we're at 8. 8 is the key amount to be able to cast a Lady Anacondra and a Germination. So between Coin and Lightning Bloom, we're already on the same pace that we were even without the Imprisoned Satyr. And that's the reason Lightning Bloom is in the deck, and specifically Lightning Bloom and not Innervate, because when we want to draw the lowest cost card with Capture Coldtooth Mine, 2 mana is just literally twice as good in this deck. Okay, Guidance is just kind of here as like a stopgap, so... I mean, honestly, I don't see the point in Glowfly Swarm, so... we can just gain a Mana Crystal on turn 3, I guess. Hopefully our opponent shows up. I don't want to... Okay. So we found a Germination, which is nice. So do I want to just draw Lightning Bloom? I can either... with oh no, I don't actually have a Coldtooth Mine. I have a Moonlit Guidance. Pardon me. So considering that I'm going to Wild Growth next turn, I'll just play this to search for, I think, a buff. Because we already have Germination. Maybe what I was supposed to do is get Nature Studies and then coin it out, but I feel like we're on track to enact our game plan pretty early, so I'm just going to do that. There's some Imprisoned Satyr. Jeez. Okay, so if we play this with buffs, like let's say we go off next turn, 3/7, 4/10, 6/13, and we'd have 2 of them. That almost doesn't seem good enough to me. Like we're drawing 1 more card. But then again, like... they won't be able to kill it because it's only turn 5 for them, and then we still have, like, any new draw step is still live for us. Oh, this feels like a close call. This is a tough one. So I can Wild Growth or I can Satyr. Satyr would be 2 turns from now going off, and Wild Growth would be next turn. I think leaving our options open with this path is good enough, because if I happen to draw like Fungal Fortunes or, you know, the Solar Eclipse, like anything like that that would copy another minion, it just really makes it worth going off right now. And plus, yeah, I think I'm happy with this play, because we would be falling too far behind if we waited longer. Okay, so we're going to coin out Lady. Let's see if I do this right. I need to buff her, and then Lightning Bloom Germination. And now I can Fungal Fortunes. I was happy talking through this one because it was a little easier than the previous games. Alright, we do 2. I feel like I've had below average luck on those. Ooh, these are not the best, but card draw will like, I expect these to survive till next turn, so... Looking for any nature spells. Honestly, those are pretty good. This is awesome. So... We have a backup Lady Anacondra in case they somehow do allow this, but... this coming turn, we get to Lunar Eclipse into Guess the Weight, or something like that, which should find us more action. So I went from feeling a little sketchy about how this game is going to somewhat confident. They definitely could have some answers. That is not one of them, I don't think. Yeah, having the lead room was decent for them. But we should be able to find some buffs or something. Alright, so they just traded off a bunch. Oh, Fungal Fortune's great. So let's just... Well, I might want to... Start with this. More than 0? I don't know. I'm probably hit a nature spell and I'll cause 0. Okay, that was good. Alright, so I'll just draw now. Okay, yeah, hitting a Germination was awesome. So 610 is currently the biggest minion, so we'll go like that. And then we'll double Germination. This is going well. I'm going to save this resizing pouch for a random expensive card. So yeah, this game was an interesting one. Like, we did kind of like a mini go off, and then it got better from there. It wasn't that many. I mean, we put out like 28 health of minions on turn 5 or something. So, you know, I guess I'm a little spoiled. And you can see the consistency of this deck. You know, it's just, you know, you go off on turn 5 like almost every time. The question is just, is it good enough? And as you have seen for 3 games in a row, the answer is yes, a lot of the time. Alright, I'm so hyped about this deck, I just gotta keep playing. I'll play one more game. I've already shown you exactly what this deck does. I've done... Well, yeah, I guess there's 2 main ways this deck plays out, right? There's Satyr draws, and there's get to 8 mana draws. And you've seen Satyr twice, and you've seen Lightning Bloom game once, and we won all 3 of those, so... We'll give it one more attempt. I might tarnish the record on this one, but we'll see. So you've seen with my mulligan decisions, I only keep things that find Anacondra and card draw. And then if I found Anacondra, I still keep those same cards because the next best card to find is Germination. These are kind of pointless. I guess composting will help us, but it's like we can't cast it till we go off, and then I don't know if drawing like 4 cards is going to really save our game. But whatever. Good old quest. I could... I'm tempted to play Nature Studies, because I might find something better to play. Not really. I guess I will just... I could wait on the Moonlit Guidance. Yeah, I think I'll be patient, because we're kind of light on resources, and I really just want to guarantee that the Moonlit Guidance is more of a draw 2 than a draw 1. So now the question becomes, should I cast it on this following turn? Well, actually, no, it's easy because it costs less, right? So I have access to 2 mana, so here we go. Nature Study is easy. Okay. Oh, Celestial actually would be pretty interesting. Is there any reason to play Nature Studies this turn? I don't think so. I suppose if I found a 2 mana card to play, I can use my 1 mana. Nah. Alright, so this is a really strange hand. I'm just going to keep taking the card draw because it's mage, and if I don't play any minions, it's a little bit slower for them to get through their quest. Specifically because it's harder to play frost spells. So this is one of the strange scenarios where I don't have the Anacondra yet, and I do see potential issues of running into hand size problems. Is it worth proccing that secret? Probably not, because then they can't cast if they draw the second copy of Ice Barrier. My whole point is just to slow them down on completing their quest, and so I'm not going to play any minions until I have to for hand size reasons. And, I mean, honestly, once I find Anacondra, I can cast these Fungal Fortunes, but I just don't want to risk anything yet. Wow, so many Fungal Fortunes. It's weird. I don't know what's going on right now. Maybe I need to ditch cards so I can cast... I don't know. I don't really see what I can ditch. That makes sense. I could play, like, Summon Treants and draw cards with them, but then, like I said, I'm turning on my opponent's quest faster. I could consider just gaining mana crystals with Nourish. I'm not really sure. I think I'll do that. It's just something to do. And hey, that's free now. Yeah, I just want one more turn of not putting minions in play. But then, yeah, if I don't draw any relevant action next turn, then I'll be forced to cash in this composting, I believe. I mean, this draw is super weird. I've never had a draw like this before, where there's 5 cards in the deck that find Anacondra. We've gone through 10 cards, didn't find any yet. I mean, it's not like the most unlikely thing in the world, but... okay, so, yeah, I'll just... Oh, I guess I could Lunar Eclipse. Is there any point? Do I have 2 Lunar Eclipse? Just 1. Yeah, so... Okay, I mean, I think it's the best we can do. Maybe I could have, like, Solar Eclipsed the composting or something, but I don't know. If we ever get to go off, we're going to go off super hard. But, I mean, Mage is the kind of opponent that if we give them too much time, they might be able to deal with our board with something like Mass Polymorph or something weird like that. Oh, we're super happy for them to waste their Devolving Missiles. Like, oh, and we got lucky. They only hit 1. But Devolving Missiles is pretty good against this deck. Not gonna lie. Alright, so you see how they got to really make progress on their quest. They're almost done now, just because we played 1 minion. But, we just gotta hope that, they still have to invest 5 mana in it. And I think, can we go off? We can't go off right now, can we? Because we need to play this, and then we need to spend 4 mana to draw the thing. Ugh. So, how many cards do I have? 9. Okay. Okay, so we finally drew the highest cost card. We don't have any... Yeah. I mean, I'm going to play this, but we're not really going to use it. We're just going to go off next turn. But at least it's one less card in our hand, I guess, so... Yeah, we're going to go off next turn and see if it's fast enough to beat this Quest Mage opponent here. They're going to have a full 8 mana worth of spell damage plus 2. Luckily, it's not plus 3 anymore, but, I'd say it's a high chance that they can just, kill us outright. So maybe if I can discover any sort of armor, I will do that. Okay, so I'm not going to talk as much. Okay, so I could have done more with the mana available. But I mean, our board is clearly big enough. It's juicy enough. 23 health is kind of hard to deal with, but I was trying to think if I could like Moonlit Guidance into Resizing Pouch. I think we used all of the nature studies already. All right, it looks like we're just dead, which makes sense. But what I was thinking is I wanted to find some way to gain armor, and Moonlit Guidance into Resizing Pouch or Nature Studies would have been the way to do that. But since there was only one copy of Resizing Pouch left, I sort of procrastinated on that strategy and ran out of time to really think it through. So it looks like our opponent managed to survive another turn, so it looks like they can't kill us this turn, but they'll probably get us next turn. But we do get a full chance to use Resizing Pouch on... I mean, I don't know. I should probably have it more memorized. I think 3 mana is the sweet spot where you can gain 8 armor the easiest. So I'll have to try that and get down to 3 mana somehow. Wow, they froze a lot of minions. Alright, yeah, so I don't think there's any real hope in this game, but and so you can see how the speed mattered. Like, it took us a long time to go off this game. Like, we didn't do it till turn like 7 or something instead of 5. And that really contributed to our loss because our opponent was just at their end game, and basically neither of us are interacting with each other. Like, I know they froze this whole board, but that was just kind of like buying them one turn. Let's see what this hits. Okay. I mean, that draws a card. I don't know, maybe there's something that costs 6. Gotta take it. One more chance to hit something. I'm gonna go with my gut of 3 being the key, so I have to spend 2 mana somehow. Oh shoot, that's not gonna work. How do I spend 2 mana? Just hero power? Alright, it didn't quite work. So yeah, we are no longer in this game. But it was a good one. Yeah. So that's I guess this game, the lesson we can learn is that like it truly is important to have all of the copies of Jerry Rig Carpenter and Capture Coldtooth Mine, because statistically we're gonna find it by turn 5 or 6 the majority of the time. Excuse me. But in this particular game, we happened to not find any of those 5 cards within the top like 12 or 13 cards, so it led to this. But it's still an interesting game. Do they seriously not have a burn spell? Like, what's going on? Okay, there it is. A little bit of BM there. Yeah, so I think this video, I hate ending on a loss, but it was a realistic representation of the deck, and we went 3-1, so can't be too sad about that. I feel like I showcased the deck perfectly. It's definitely not intuitive how you play it, but once you know how, you definitely can repeat what I just did. So yeah, if you happen to have all these cards already, or you really liked what you saw, you could play this deck, and it's super fun. So thank you for watching. If you liked it, please subscribe. It's a pretty new channel, and I'm trying to build up the more views and subscribers, the more content I can create. So I'm looking forward to it. So thank you, and see you next time.